What's up, vinyl community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live from my Jeep Cherokee. On the way up to Noble Records. Yesterday, these seem to be the only videos I ever have time to do anymore. I'm sorry, guys. But yesterday, my boy Dylan had put a pretty significant jazz record up on his holy moly wall. And my boy Josh had taken me to Birch, as you guys have seen so many times on my videos in the past. Has sent me a link, of it or whatever, basically insinuating that he'd like to have it, but he had to work. And me being the sneaky bastard that I am, I wasn't even looking at Instagram at the time. Immediately looked at it, messaged Dylan, and I was like, I'll take it. So he set it aside for me, and headed on up today. Made the mistake last night of staying up a little bit too late to listen to jazz, because I don't have much time to do it anymore. So it's not so much that I made the mistake to do that, it's that I picked the wrong night of the year to do it. I picked spring forward night to do it. So as you guys know, 2:30 turns into 3:30, like that. So spent almost all day paying for it. Made the decision to come on up here and nab my record that I had scored off of Dylan a little later than what I'd normally like to. But I got it, and so now all I've got to do is just go grab it, go pick it up, and hopefully try my best to not spend too much more money. I've got a big Grail in the works that I'm working on, guys. So stay tuned on that as well. I can't wait to show it to you once I have it, but that's for a future video. For today's video, I'll show you guys what it is I scored from Noble Records. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. What's up, vinyl community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live from the Jeep right outside my house. Meant to do it right outside of Noble, but forgot, if I'm being completely honest. And then got going up the road, and then I got home. I was like, oh shit, I was going to do the rest of it. I guess I could do it from inside, but to be completely honest with you, there is no doubt a 4-year-old inside waiting to jump all over me and wear me out for the rest of the night, because I promised her when I got back home I'd play basketball with her. So I figured I'll go ahead and do that now before I go inside. Not to mention a wife that's no doubt going to be hungry. But anyway, I promised myself going up there that I'm just going to go pick up the one record that I'd already bought. But you guys know how it is. You know the struggle. Dylan wasn't even there today. It's Sunday. He took the day off. A lot of you guys who've been following me long enough know that I used to run the shop on Sundays. Then COVID happened. The wife wasn't comfortable with me going back, so therefore I haven't made it back. But now the job kind of belongs to another guy, so maybe I'll get a chance to work there again one day, maybe not. I mean, we'll see. But anyway, went up there to just pick up a record and come home. And so when I get in, I walk in the door, and the new guy that works on Sunday, I can't remember his name. He's a super nice guy. If you go in on Sundays, super nice guy. He's really talkative, really friendly. Talks to you about the records that you buy. I mean, he's a cool guy. I only wish that I knew his name, or could remember his name at the moment, so that I could just tell you how nice the guy is. He's very talkative, very friendly. Will talk to you about your records, engage you, and yeah, he's, think me, but 30 years older. He might not be 30 years older. Think me, 20 years older. That sounds about right. But anyway, sometimes I forget how damn old I am, guys. Anyway. So I'll save the Grail for last. You guys know my MO. And then I'll mention to you some other along the way. Let's start with the newest one. I Told You So. Delvin Lamar, organ trio with Jimmy James and Grant Shroff. New release. I've wanted it since it was released. Not too many new albums come out that I want. You guys know how I wagon wheel. But I did indeed want this one. I have wanted it since it came out, but I wanted to buy it from Dylan at Noble Records. And today I came in, and this was the only copy I saw. So I think this was the last one. I think it's the indie version on pink vinyl, but I'm not positive, but I don't give a shit. Everything on Coal Mine Records, guys, that comes out is fire. Seriously. Just blind buy it. If it comes out on Coal Mine Records, just buy it. Advice from your boy Chris. Tunes from the Man Cave. That's that one. So next up is a Tone Poet that came out, oh man, way back like at the first run of Tone Poets, and then it got put off, and then other ones came out, and then Grails were prioritized over it, obviously, because it's a reissue, and it just kept getting put off and put off and put off, and now you can't find it online hardly or anything. You can't find it at most shops, but you can find it at Noble Records. Dexter Gordon Clubhouse, Tone Poet reissue. Obviously a major upgrade in terms of sound quality and cover, as opposed to the very stale release that they put out in the 80s from a shelf session. But it's Dexter Gordon on tenor saxophone, Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Barry Harris on piano, Bob Cranshaw on bass, and Billy Higgins on drums. It is a freaking killer album. Earlier this year, or maybe late last year, I had won an original pressing of Clubhouse from someone on Instagram, from a drawing, from a contest, if you will. And but it was the very stale cover. It was the not that you could. I mean, they didn't put very much into them. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, just you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who don't, just take my word for it. If you're gonna buy Dexter Gordon's Clubhouse, buy this Tone Poet. And when I knew how many that Dylan had in stock, I knew he had so many. It was like I just gifted it to a friend, my boy JW. If you're watching, what's up, buddy? And DC, and I just gifted it to him, and went ahead and just decided to just buy this. So very happy about it. Can't wait to throw it on. Definitely a vast cover improvement and sound quality improvement. Next up is one that's been sitting on Dylan's shelves for months. Honestly, just for a while. He would back me up on this if he were here. But it's Sonny Clark. It's the Immortal Session from Blue Note. Sonny Clark, Wynton Kelly. It's a Japanese pressing. It's awesome stuff. I tell you what, I hate the sleeve, but I feel like opening it. Anyway, open this up. Splat-ow. Again, Japanese pressing. Wonderful stuff. Anything Sonny Clark, and then you guys have the Japanese inner. Always awesome to have. So I have no doubt it's going to sound awesome. But Sonny Clark, of course, you guys who've been following me long enough may remember the Tales from the Nightclub segment that I did on the great Sonny Clark and his untimely and very early death. He's easily one of the greatest jazz pianists who ever lived. There's just no doubt about it. And I love every release, and I love Sonny. And then, so that's all the stuff that I bought today that I didn't intend to buy. Yeah, so now for what I grabbed, what I actually just drove up there for, and it's Miles Davis collector's items. This is an original modern press. Again, with these shitty sleeves. Does anybody really like these? Anyway, as you can tell, no splits, no seams, no problems. It's in great shape. It does have a MoFi sleeve on the inside. Nice. West 50th Street, New York City. That's the desired address, guys, on Prestige. But it's Miles on trumpet, Walter Bishop on piano, Sonny Rollins on tenor, Percy Heath on bass, Philly Joe Jones on trumpet, and Charlie Chan on tenor as well, aka Charlie Parker. Interesting story behind this album is it's basically compromised of a couple of sessions, and one session, has Charlie Parker or whatnot on it and everything. But anyway, it's 1953 and 1955. About the 1953, I'm positive on. About the 1955, I'm not sure. But anyway, basically, if any of you have read Miles Davis's autobiography, you'll know that you would think that a meetup and a collaboration between Miles Davis and the great Charlie Parker would be a phenomenal event. It was not. They Miles was in the very beginning of a very bad heroin habit, and Charlie was coming off a bad heroin habit, but that just turned him into a blazing alcoholic. And so they fought, they argued, they like Charlie was like falling asleep during the session. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Like Charlie came in and started barking out orders as if it was his session, except for it was Miles. I mean, it was just not a good experience. It's not the experience that you would hope of hearing about when you hear about two all-time jazz immortals meeting up and doing a record. So, not a great experience at all. And then I think by the time this album was released in 1956 was a year after Charlie Parker had died. Because, hey, he lived that life. A lot of years of drug abuse, a lot of years of alcohol abuse, but he is listed as Charlie Chan in quotes on this album for a contract conflict or whatever, if you will, because he was at the time contracted to a rival label, and so they threw in that little alias or whatever, if you will, but didn't really do a great job hiding it, just to like avoid any kind of like clapback or action or whatever from the rival label. But this is definitely something worth owning. Again, it's Miles Davis on trumpet, Walter Bishop on piano, Sonny Rollins and Charlie Chan, aka Charlie Parker, on tenor, Percy Heath on bass, Philly Joe Jones on drums on one side, and then on the other side is Miles, Sonny, Tommy Flanagan on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Art Taylor on drums. So, some of the greatest musicians that ever lived. It's absolutely worth owning. If you see it, don't jump on it. Don't jump on it. Don't jump on it. Yeah, highly recommend it. But that's all I got for you guys for today. I'm gonna put this awesome record back in this shitty ass sleep. God, I hate these things. Anyway, it will be replaced stat. But anyway, glad that I had a few moments to hang out and talk with you guys today. Hope that you're all having as good of a spring forward weekend as you can have. Good Lord, daylight savings time's terrible. Damn you, Benjamin Franklin. And I hope you got time to spend something awesome this weekend, and you're spending some time with some people you love. And until next time, until next video, keep dropping that new, you guys. I totally want to edit that out, you guys know that.